الأعداء تتحرك.
شبه قارب الأعداء.
وصلت الأعداء حاملة جنود مسلحة تخص الأعداء. حاملة جنود مسلحة للأعداء، هل تسمع؟ وصلتنا مدرعة للأعداء. حاملة جنود مسلحة للأعداء، هل تسمع؟ حاملة جنود مسلحة تخص الأعداء. وحدات الأعداء تتحرك. وصلت الأعداء بالمنطقة. وحدات الأعداء تتحرك.
حول.
حاملة جنود مسلحة تخص الأعداء. حاملة جنود مسلحة للأعداء، هل تسمع؟ مروحية للأعداء في المنطقة. حاملة جنود مسلحة للأعداء، هل تسمع؟ للأعداء في المنطقة. حول. حاملة جنود مسلحة تخص الأعداء. تم التعرف على تحركات الأعداء، تسمعوني؟ وصلتنا مدرعة للأعداء. تحركات للأعداء، هل تسمعوني؟ وحدات الأعداء
جدا. تم الاستيلاء على
مروحية للأعداء في المنطقة. حول. وحدات الأعداء تتحرك.
جميع الأعداء. حول. الموقع تحت
طائرة للأعداء. طائرة للأعداء. طائرة للأعداء. طائرات الأعداء فوق مروحية للأعداء في المنطقة. حول. تحركات الأعداء. تم التعرف على مروحية للأعداء على الأرض. تم التعرف على مروحية للأعداء. الأعداء على الطريق. تم التعرف على مروحية للأعداء. تحركات الأعداء. تم التعرف على مروحية للأعداء. تحركات الأعداء. أوطان جديد في الخطة. احضروا التعرف على مروحية للأعداء. تحركات الأعداء، هل تسمعوني؟
طائرة بدون طيار تعمل بدأت الضغط.
تحركات الأعداء، هل تسمعوني؟
صارت علامة خطوط الأعداء. حول.
وحدات الأعداء تتحرك.
هل تسمعني؟
مروحية للأعداء في المنطقة. حول.
تمكنا من السيطرة على الأعداء.
وحدات الأعداء تتحرك. هل تسمعوني؟
الأعداء. حول.
تحركات الأعداء، هل تسمعوني؟ وحدات الأعداء تتحرك. وحدات الأعداء تتحرك. وحدات الأعداء تتحرك. تم التعرف على مروحية للأعداء. تحركات الأعداء، هل تسمعوني؟ الأعداء فوقنا. حول. مروحية للأعداء على مروحية للأعداء. مروحية للأعداء على مروحية للأعداء.
رفض وصول الطائرة بدون طيار. انتهت.
صارت حالة جنود مسلحة تخص الأعداء.
طائرة بدون طيار تعمل بدأت
الأعداء. حول.
مروحية للأعداء في المنطقة. حول. التعرف على مروحية للأعداء. تحركات الأعداء. تحركات الأعداء، هل تسمعوني؟ تحركات الأعداء. طائرة للأعداء. وحدات الأعداء. وحدات الأعداء تتحرك.
مسلحة تخص الأعداء.
تحركات الأعداء. طائرات الأعداء فوقنا. حول.
مروحية
مسلحة تخص الأعداء. طائرة للأعداء. طائرة للأعداء.
بدأت الضغط.
وحدات الأعداء تتحرك. مروحية للأعداء. وحدات الأعداء. وحدات الأعداء تتحرك. وحدات الأعداء تتحرك.
جاري البث الحي من الطائرة بدون طيار.
تعدى السيطرة مجددا.
طائرات الأعداء فوقنا. طائرة للأعداء. تحركات الأعداء فوقنا. حول.
تم فتح المنطقة وهي تحت السيطرة.
وحدات الأعداء تتحرك.
تفقد وصول الطائرة بدون طيار. انتهى.
وحدات الأعداء تتحرك. تم التعرف على مروحية للأعداء. تم التعرف على مروحية للأعداء.
جاري البث الحي.
تم الاجتياح على أحد النقاط.
حول. مروحية للأعداء في المنطقة. وحدات الأعداء تتحرك.
صارت حامل جنود مسلحة. التجهيزات صارت في موقع. فقدنا السيطرة على إحدى النقاط.
مروحية للأعداء. مروحية للأعداء.
تمكنا من السيطرة على
الأعداء في المنطقة. مروحية للأعداء في المنطقة.
حول.
تم التعرف على مروحية للأعداء في المنطقة. حول. تم التعرف على مروحية للأعداء. تحركات الأعداء. هل تسمعوني؟ تم التعرف على مروحية للأعداء. تم التعرف على مروحية للأعداء. تحرك. مروحية للأعداء في المنطقة. تم التعرف على مروحية للأعداء. تحركات للأعداء. هل تسمعوني؟ تحركات للأعداء. تم التعرف على مروحية للأعداء. حاملة جنود مسلحة. مروحية للأعداء في المنطقة. الأعداء تتحرك. وحدات الأعداء تتحرك. تم التعرف على مروحية للأعداء. تتحرك. طائرة للأعداء. تم التعرف على مروحية للأعداء. هل تسمع؟ تم التعرف على مروحية للأعداء.
وصل القائد الجديد إلى الخطة.
طائرات الأعداء فوق الأعداء. مسلحة تخص الأعداء. مسلحة تخص الأعداء. حاملة جنود مسلحة تخص الأعداء. وحدات الأعداء. تسمعوني؟ وحدات الأعداء تتحرك. وحدات الأعداء. تسمعوني؟ حاملة جنود مسلحة تخص الأعداء. حاملة جنود وحدات الأعداء تتحرك.
جاري البث الحي من الطائرة بدون طيار.
تم التعرف على سرية الأعداء.
تحركات الأعداء. هل تسمعوني؟
المنطقة. يوجد قناص في المنطقة. تم التعرف على
الأعداء تتحرك. تم التعرف على مروحية للأعداء.
يوجد قوات الأعداء. حول.
مروحية للأعداء.
حول.
هل تسمعوني؟ مروحية للأعداء في المنطقة. حول.
تم التعرف على سرية الأعداء. هل تسمعوني؟ تم التعرف على سرية الأعداء.
مروحية للأعداء في المنطقة. حول. مروحية للأعداء في المنطقة. تم التعرف على مروحية للأعداء. طائرات الأعداء فوقنا. حول. وحدات الأعداء تتحرك. تم التعرف على مروحية
للأعداء. حول. يوجد قناص في المنطقة.
تعزيزاتنا على وجه. مروحية للأعداء في المنطقة. حول. تم التعرف على مروحية للأعداء. مروحية للأعداء في المنطقة. حول. تم التعرف على وحدات الأعداء تتحرك. طائرات الأعداء. مروحية للأعداء في المنطقة. حول. مروحية للأعداء في المنطقة. حول.
قوات أعداء. حول.
طائرات الأعداء فوقنا. حول. قناص. وحدات الأعداء تتحرك. مروحية للأعداء في المنطقة. مروحية للأعداء في المنطقة. حول. تم مروحية للأعداء في المنطقة. حول.
يوجد قناص في المنطقة. شوهدت مروحية للأعداء. Hostile chopper, over. Hostile jet spotted, over. Enemy hostile forces spotted. Enemy units on the move. Enemy forces spotted, over. Enemy sniper. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Hostile sniper spotted, over. Enemy aircraft. Enemy air assets, over. Enemy helicopter. Enemy helicopter. Enemy sniper spotted. Enemy sniper spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy helicopter spotted. Enemy helicopter. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy helicopter spotted.
Enemy units on the move. Inbound. Chopper. Identify. Enemy units. Enemy troops.
Enemy forces spotted. Enemy forces. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy helicopter. Enemy helicopter. Enemy forces helicopters. Enemy helicopter.
Enemy forces. Over.
Enemy forces spotted. Enemy helicopter. Enemy helicopter spotted.
Hostile chopper.
Enemy helicopter. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy helicopter. Enemy forces helicopter spotted. Enemy sniper spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy sniper spotted. Enemy sniper spotted. Enemy spotted. Enemy sniper spotted. Enemy infantry. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy helicopter spotted.
Enemy activity. Identified. Inbound. Over. Hostile chopper. Identified.
Enemy helicopter spotted.
Over. Enemy activity. Do you copy? Hostile chopper. Identified.
Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy sniper spotted. Enemy car spotted. Enemy car spotted.
Enemy forces. Over.
Online and transmitting.
Enemy infantry spotted.
Hostile chopper.
Enemy forces spotted.
Enemy activity. Do you
Enemy
copy?
forces spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy forces spotted.
Hostiles on the ground.
Enemy forces spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy forces
Over.
Enemy forces spotted. Infantry spotted. Enemy
forces.
infantry. Let's move.
Mount up.
UAV online.
Mount up. Snipers on our perimeter.
Enemy forces spotted. Enemy helicopter. Enemy helicopter spotted.
Enemy units on the
Spotted. Enemy forces spotted.
Enemy activity.
Enemy helicopter.
Enemy air activity. Over. Enemy activity. Do you copy?
Enemy forces spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy forces spotted.
Hostile enemy activity. Do you copy? Enemy forces. Over. Hostiles on the ground. Enemy activity.
Hostile forces.
Enemy army. Forces. Over.
Hostile forces.
Got it.
Enemy helicopter spotted.
Hostile split. Inbound.
Enemy helicopter spotted. Enemy helicopter.
Enemy activity.
Enemy helicopter spotted. Enemy car spotted. Enemy forces. Enemy infantry spotted.
Enemy forces. Inbound. Over.
Enemy helicopter spotted.
UAV transmitting.
Hostile chopper. Over.
Enemy spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy forces. Enemy car. Enemy spotted. Enemy sniper. Enemy sniper. Enemy hostile chopper. Over. Enemy sniper spotted.
UAV is bingo on fuel. Transmission ending.
Hostile forces spotted. Over. Enemy air assets. Over. Sniper. Over. Enemy air assets.
forces spotted. Enemy forces spotted. I need a medic here. Mount up. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy troops. Enemy spotted. Enemy helicopter spotted. Enemy helicopter spotted. Enemy activity. Do you copy? Enemy spotted. Enemy units, do you move? Enemy forces, spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy activity. Enemy units on the move. Sniper spotted. Enemy spotted. Enemy car spotted. Enemy units on the move. Enemy activity. Enemy car spotted. Forces spotted. Enemy units on the move. Enemy forces. Over. Enemy forces over. Enemy forces spotted. Over. Enemy units on the move. Enemy troops. Sniper. Enemy units on the move. Activity. Request air support. Enemy units on the move. Enemy sniper. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy jet spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy vehicle. Hostile jet spotted. Over. Enemy units on the move. Do you copy? Enemy forces over. Hostile forces spotted. Over. Enemy aircraft. Sniper vehicle spotted. Over. Enemy units on the move. Enemy activity. Enemy units on the move. Do you copy? Sniper. Thanks. I owe you one. Hostile forces spotted. Over. We got company overhead. Over. Enemy air assets. Over. We got company overhead. Enemy units on the move. Enemy spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy helicopter spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy forces. Enemy helicopter. Enemy forces. Enemy forces. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Over. Enemy activity. Enemy helicopter spotted. Enemy infantry. Enemy spotted. Enemy activity. Enemy activity. Do you enemy infantry spotted. Enemy troops. Enemy aircraft. Enemy units on the move. Enemy boats spotted. Enemy water vehicle spotted. Enemy activity. Enemy boat spotted. Enemy units on the move. Enemy activity. Enemy units on the move. Enemy activity. Inbound. Over. Enemy jet spotted. Enemy aircraft. Enemy activity. Supplies in your position. Do you copy? Enemy activity. Do you copy? Enemy troops. Enemy units on the move. Hostile chopper. Enemy identified. Bridge has been repaired. Enemy helicopter spotted. No way, man. Hostile flick inbound. Over. Sniper. Enemy units on the move. Enemy units on the move. Enemy sniper. Enemy vehicle. Enemy units on the move. Enemy forces. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy car spotted. Helicopter spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Hostile forces. Enemy forces. Enemy units on the move.
Enemy forces, infantry spotted.
UAV transmitting on this
Hop
line.
in. Hop in. No, sir.
Hostile forces,
Enemy
spotted.
force over. Let's move. Enemy helicopter spotted. Hostile chopper over. Hostile chopper over. Hostile forces spotted. Over. Enemy forces over. Hostile chopper over. Hostile chopper over. Mount up. Let's
Enemy
move.
forces spotted.
Good deal, thanks. Roger that. Mount up! Give me a ride. Hey, I need a ride.
Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy infantry
Company
spotted.
overhead. Okay.
Enemy infantry spotted.
Thanks. I owe you.
Enemy
We need
infantry
repairs. We got
spotted.
company. Enemy boat spotted.
Enemy
Enemy
sniper
units
spotted.
on the move.
Enemy sniper spotted.
Enemy vehicle.
Enemy
Attack this
infantry
position.
spotted. Enemy infantry spotted.
Enemy hostile chopper identified.
Transmitting on this
How
line.
about some help over here? Hostile chopper identified. Hostile jet spotted. Over.
Restored. Well done. New commander is on duty.
Enemy forces. Enemy troops. Copy.
UAV transmitting on this mark.
Enemy troops. Hey, thanks. Enemy forces. Over on it. Over. Hostile sniper spotted. Over. No way, man. Move out.
Enemy
Attack
forces
here.
spotted. Enemy forces. Enemy forces. Enemy infantry spotted.
Enemy activity.
All clear.
UAV transmitting
Position
on
under control. Out.
No way, man.
Enemy forces spotted.
No, sir. Enemy units on the move.
Enemy forces spotted. Enemy infantry spotted.
Enemy tank is inbound. Over. Hostile infantry spotted. Over.
UAV online and transmitting.
Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy armor spotted. Enemy forces. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy armor spotted.
Hostile forces spotted. Over.
UAV
We
transmitting.
got hostile armor. Enemy units on the move. Do you copy? Move out. Attack here. Enemy tank is inbound. Over. Enemy tank.
We've lost
Enemy tank
control
is
of an
inbound.
outpost.
Enemy tank identified. Do you cover? Enemy activity. Do you copy? We got hostile armor. Enemy troops identified. Do you copy?
UAV online and transmitting.
Enemy troops identified. Do you copy?
Enemy forces spotted.
Hostiles on the ground. Good deal, thanks. Enemy forces spotted. Over. Enemy forces over. Enemy units on the move. Enemy troops identified. Hostile forces spotted. Hostile infantry spotted. Enemy troops identified. Do you copy? Hostile forces spotted. Over. Snipers on our perimeter. Enemy troop. Good deal, thanks. You got it. Hostile sniper spotted. Over. Enemy activity. Do you copy? Snipers on our perimeter. Enemy forces over. Spotted. Over. Hostile forces spotted. Over. Enemy armor spotted. Enemy activity. Do you copy? We got hostile armor. Attack this enemy armor spotted. Enemy forces over. Enemy activity. Do you copy? Hostile sniper spotted. Over. Hostile forces spotted. Over. Hostile sniper spotted. Over. Hostile sniper spotted. Over. Hostile enemy troop. We've lost control of an outpost. Enemy troops on the ground. Enemy forces. Over. Hostile armor sighted. Cleared and under control. Enemy units on the move. Enemy forces over. Thanks. I owe you one. Hostile forces spotted. Over. Requesting enemy forces. Over. Hostile forces spotted. Over. Under control. Hostile forces spotted. Your commander is on duty. Hostile forces spotted. Over. We've lost control of an outpost.
UAV online and transmitting.
Move out! Attack here! Move out! Attack here! Enemy forces over! Enemy forces over! Enemy forces over! Enemy troops identified. Do you copy? Thanks, Champ.
UAV is bingo on fuel. Transmission ending.
Enemy units on the move. Enemy troop. We need ammo. Enemy forces. Hostile forces spotted. Over. Hostile forces spotted. Over. Hostile sniper spotted. Over. Enemy forces. Enemy forces. Over. Hostile infantry spotted. Over. We got hostile armor. Hostile infantry. We need ammo. Enemy units on the move. Enemy forces. Over. Hostile infantry spotted. Over. I'm bingo on ammo. Do you copy? Requesting ammunition. Over. Running dry. Need ammo. Over. Hostile forces spotted. Over. We need ammo. We need ammo. forces, over. Enemy forces, good deal, thanks. Enemy troops identified, do you copy? Enemy forces, over. Enemy troops identified, do you copy? Hostile infantry spotted, over. Infantry spotted, over. Enemy forces spotted, over. Enemy activity, do you copy? Good deal, thanks. Enemy troops identified, do you copy? Enemy troops identified, do you copy? Okay, no way, man. No, sir. I'm bingo on ammo. Do you copy? No, sir. Enemy forces, over. Enemy troop units on the ground. We got hostile armor. Do you copy? Hostile forces spotted, over. Hostile infantry spotted, over. Enemy units on the move. Requesting ammunition, over. Enemy troops identified, do you copy? Enemy forces, over. Thanks. I owe you one. Enemy forces, over. We got hostile inbound, over. Enemy tank is inbound, over. New commander is on duty.
UAV online and ready.
Enemy forces spotted. Requesting repair support, over. Enemy forces, over. Enemy forces, over. We got hostile repair, quick. Do you copy? Hostile infantry spotted, over.
UAV offline.
Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy tank is inbound, over. Enemy armor spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Requesting a medic, over. Supplies at your position. Thanks. I'm bingo on ammo. Do you copy? Enemy infantry spotted.
UAV online and ready.
Enemy activity. Do you copy? Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy spotted. Medic. Enemy infantry spotted. Hostile infantry spotted, over. Hostile infantry spotted, over. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy sniper spotted. Enemy forces spotted.
Transmitting on
Enemy sniper spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy units on the move. Medic. Supplies at your position. Hey, thanks. Enemy armor spotted. Enemy forces spotted. your position. Hostile forces spotted. Over. Artillery, your area.
UAV is bingo on fuel. Transmission ending. UAV online and transmitting.
Enemy armor spotted. Enemy sniper spotted. Enemy sniper spotted. Enemy sniper spotted. Enemy sniper spotted.
碎片手榴弹，碎片手榴弹。
We got hostile armor. Enemy sniper spotted. Enemy sniper spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Over. Enemy armors. Enemy troops identified. Do you copy?
UAV transmitting on this mark.
Enemy troops identified. Do you copy? Hostile armor sighted. Hostile forces spotted. Over. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Over. Enemy ATC spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy troops identified. Do you copy? Enemy identified. Enemy spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy spotted. Identified. Snipers on our perimeter. Enemy units on the move. Hostile sniper spotted. Over.
Transmitting on this mark.
Enemy sniper spotted. Enemy forces over. Snipers on our perimeter. Snipers on our perimeter. Snipers on our perimeter. Sniper! Enemy forces spotted. Enemy units on the move. Enemy units on the move. Attack here. Attack this position. Enemy forces over. Hostile sniper spotted. Over. Hostile sniper spotted. Over. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy forces over.
Transmitting on this mark.
Enemy forces over. Enemy forces over. Hostiles on the ground. Enemy forces over. Snipers on our perimeter. Snipers on our perimeter. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy sniper spotted. Hostile forces spotted. Over. Enemy sniper. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy troops identified. Do you copy?
Online and transmitting.
Enemy active ground. Do you copy? Hostile infantry spotted. Over. Hostile forces spotted. Over. Enemy. We need ammo. Do you copy? We need ammo. Enemy troop. Requesting ammunition. Over. Enemy forces. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy forces over.
Transmitting on this mark.
Enemy, we need ammo. Do you copy? Enemy forces, all sniper armor spotted. Over. Hostile infantry spotted. Over. We need support. Do you copy? Hostile armor.
infantry spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy APC spotted.
Enemy troops identified. Do you copy?
UAV online and transmitting.
Hostile forces. Enemy forces. Over. Hostile forces spotted. Over. Sniper.
Enemy armor. Enemy forces spotted.
Hostile infantry spotted. Over. Enemy forces. Hostile infantry spotted. Over. Medic.
Enemy forces spotted.
UAV transmitting on this mark.
I read you.
Enemy boat spotted.
Enemy spotted. Enemy forces spotted.
Over.
UAV offline.
Defend this infantry spotted.
Artillery infantry spotted. Over. Do you enemy armor spotted.
Transmitting on this mark.
Enemy forces spotted.
Hostile infantry spotted. Over. Spotted. Over. Good deal. Thanks. Medic.
Supplies at your position. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy forces spotted.
Enemy hostile infantry spotted. Over. Do you copy?
Enemy forces spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy infantry spotted.
Enemy tank inbound. Over.
Enemy infantry.
Enemy troops identified.
Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy sniper. Enemy forces spotted.
Follow me. Requesting ammunition. Over. Need ammo. We need ammo.
UAV transmitting on this mark.
Outpost is being
Enemy
overrun.
forces. Over. Hostile sniper spotted. Over. Do you copy? Enemy. We need ammo. Do you copy? Good deal. Thanks. Requesting ammunition. Over. Thanks. Enemy armor spotted. Enemy armor spotted.
Enemy forces spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy infantry spotted.
UAV is bingo on fuel. Transmission ending. UAV online.
Enemy troops.
Enemy forces spotted.
Hostile infantry spotted.
Enemy
Over.
forces spotted. Enemy sniper spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Position. Enemy armor spotted.
Thanks. Follow me, soldiers. Enemy units on the move.
Enemy armor spotted.
Requesting a medic. Over.
Enemy armor spotted. Supplies at your position. Enemy forces. Enemy sniper. Enemy forces spotted. We've lost control. Enemy armor spotted.
Sniper. Enemy troops. Enemy ammunition. Over. Hostiles on the ground. Enemy forces. Over. Enemy APC identified. Enemy forces. Oversight. Over. Enemy activity. Do you copy? Enemy forces. Over. I owe you one. Hostile forces spotted. Over.
Supplies at your
Enemy units
position.
on the move.
Enemy forces spotted.
Enemy forces. Hostile spotted. Over. Infantry spotted. Over. Enemy forces. Enemy troops identified. Do you copy?
Enemy armor spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy infantry spotted. Enemy armor spotted.
Enemy armor spotted. Hostile infantry spotted. Over. Hostile forces spotted. Enemy armor spotted. Hostile armor sighted. Over. Enemy activity. Do you copy? Hostile armor sighted. Over. Enemy units on the move. Enemy activity. Enemy units on the move. Hostile forces spotted. Over. We got hostile armor.
Enemy sniper spotted.
Hostiles on the ground.
Enemy sniper spotted. Enemy forces. Enemy infantry spotted.
Enemy troops identified. Do you copy? Enemy activity. Do you copy?
UAV transmitting.
Enemy forces over.
Spotted. Enemy forces spotted. Enemy armor spotted.
UAV transmitting on this mark.
I'm bingo on ammo. Do you copy?
Enemy armor spot. Enemy infantry. Enemy armor spotted. Artillery, your area.
Enemy forces over.
Supplies at your position.
Hostile infantry spotted. Over. Enemy units on the move. I need repairs. Do you copy?
Enemy spotted.
UAV transmitting on this mark.
We're running low on reinforcements.
Enemy activity. Do you copy?
Supplies at your position.